Okay, so some of you might have been playing this game long enough to remember when Warlords of New York came out. And back then, everybody was running full red builds. No blue cores, no nothing of that survivability crap that we have today. Back then, it was, our options to get weapon damage and damage in general were so limited. We only had our branded pieces, nothing else. Gear sets were useless back then. I don't even remember if they were gear sets. We didn't have maxed out SHD watches. We didn't have expertise levels. We didn't have, primary weapons with 30% weapon damage on them from the expertise, giving us basically 2 extra red cores. We didn't have memento, giving us another 2 extra red cores from its long-term buff, and 3 main cores from its cores basically. So our damage options were very limited, and this whole crap that we have today, where basically you can be tanky as a tank and literally never die, so you can just outlast your enemies in a way, wasn't working back then. So we needed to invest everything we had into weapon damage, and the one build that was like the main build that if you had, your group mates were very happy for you and for themselves because they knew you could carry the rush, were the classic M1A full red with glass cannon and vigilance on it, right? Fox sprayers, contractor's gloves, 1 Grupo Sombra, 1 Cisca Vairoba, or like 3 Provident defense, Fox sprayers, and contractor's gloves, all those shits, right? Well, now you don't need that, and that's why the meta has shifted so much. But as someone who has been playing the game since launch, but basically I really got into the game with Warlords of New York, I present to you, ladies and gentlemen, the good old classic full red rifle build with glass cannon in it, because this build isn't for everybody, it's for those who want to remember the good old times, right? And a small couple of changes. The first most obvious change is obviously the Tinkerer mask. The Tinkerer mask basically will make our good old classic M1A even stronger. Instead of going with Boomerang, which used to be the meta back then, I'm going with Rifleman. Why? Because Boomerang is not consistent at all. I want something that's more consistent. Secondary, obviously Killer. 70% extra critical hit damage. This is so sweet, because if you go to our stats, we already have 180% critical hit damage plus 70%. That's going to be 250% critical hit damage with 53.5% critical hit chance, which can be improved even more if you optimize. Where is it? This roll over here, it will reach a total of 54% critical hit chance. Our critical hit damage can be optimized as well, and our weapon damage, as you will see from all my pieces, has some room for improvement. Now I'm going with the Fox sprayers, of course, because we want the 8% damage out of cover, because that combined with the 10 we get from the classic M1A gives us 18 in total. But we're not done. Our skill is going to be Smart Cover. That's going to be giving us another 10%. We're having a total of 28% damage out of cover. That's extremely good. We have 2 Sviadovka. I don't know, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. Brandset pieces for the 20% rifle damage and the 15% magazine size. The 15% magazine size, if I'm being quite honest, it's whatever, really, we don't care about that. But the 20% rifle damage is actually quite sweet. The Fox sprayers not only give us the 8% damage targets out of cover, but it also gives us the 10% rifle damage, so we have a total of 30% rifle damage from our brandsets. We're moving on to the Grupo Sombra, obviously, for the 13% critical hit damage and the glass cannon. Now, why do I want glass cannon and not obliterate? The right option here is to go with obliterate, right? Theoretically. But because classic M1A isn't one of the best weapons when it comes to the rate of fire that it has, and is, kind of slow to get those 25 stacks on it, I prefer to go with glass cannon. Obviously, another plus side of using the glass cannon is that you have 25% amplified damage from the get-go. You don't need to build those stacks up. But of course, the downside, the huge downside, is that you take 50% more 50% amplified damage on you, which means that we have very limited time, a very small and limited time of window to actually take down enemies before they can realize what's going on and then they take us down. Now, on the backpack, I'm using the Ceska Vairoba for the 8% critical hit chance, and it was a big debate that I have with myself. Should I go with Unstoppable Force or should I go with Vigilance? I went with Unstoppable Force for one reason and only. Having even one stack on it, or two stacks, let's say 5% total weapon damage more, right? It's still going to be more effective than having Vigilance and getting shot, because as soon as you get shot with Vigilance, you will not have the extra total weapon damage, right? And because this build is extremely squeaky, it's the squeakiest build you can put in the entire game on, which means you're going to die extremely fast. It's literally going to make a whole lot of difference if I have even that 10 or 5% total weapon damage on or off. Because yes, 25% vigilance from the get-go is better than having to build up stacks, but Unstoppable Force builds up stacks not by hitting enemies but by killing them, so we can do that extremely fast because we take 3, maybe at sometimes even 2 bullets to kill enemies. But on average we need 3 with 4 bullets to kill enemies, right? So we will get the stacks up and running pretty fast. But even if I have 2 of them, having that 2% total weapon damage, that 10% total weapon damage enabled when somebody's shooting at me, it's going to be extremely important so I can kill him before he can kill me. So with all that being said, on the classic M1A, I have 30% accuracy and 30% stability, because when you're running builds like this, I was even considering getting rid of the Grupo Sombra chest piece and going with this chest piece for the 30% weapon handling. But as you will see, with a classic M1A, because it's a very easy to control weapon, we don't really struggle when it comes to accuracy and stability. But what I was saying is that in builds like this, where it's literally one bullet that can make an entire difference if you die or not, we want to be as accurate as possible. Now let me lower the sound a bit. I'm missing all my shots here, doesn't matter. What the fuck is going on? There we go. There we go, right? So you can literally kill people with one bullet. Obviously that was a purple, but you can still do that to elites. So that guy has provoked these guys, which isn't an ideal situation for me. But we will make it work. Weak points are crucial. Uh-oh. Oh, this guy is burning already? As you can see, we cannot take any damage at all. Being able to destroy weak points with just one bullet is extremely important and fun. Because, as I said, this build is all about killing them as fast as possible. Destroying a weak point means that that guy will be set on fire, at least in these guys. Some other guys, it means that they will get electroshocked or whatever it might be, right? But yeah. As you can see, accuracy and stability are both great. Oof. 2 hits on that elite. There you go. Super easy, super fast, and most importantly, super fun to play with. When you have that much damage, another thing that I like about the rifles and the classic M1A in particular is because you output so much damage, you will see the enemies a lot of the time when you hit them in the head, they will be like knocked back or whatever that effect is, right? That means they cannot shoot at you. So it's not only about weak points, it's not only about, you know, damage numbers, it's about understanding the game and being able to, you know, take those little things into your advantage. And that's what a lot of players actually have to work with back when the game was much harder. That's why you will see in all the gameplay that I have in my channel, I'm always going for weak points, because back then putting enemies on fire was extremely huge. Is that a resource convoy that we're gonna do here? No, it's not. It's just people carrying crates, sadly. Let's try another one. Oof. Those guys look upset. Nice grenade. It's not gonna hit me though. Oh, hello there. What are you doing? Can you pick? Thank you. Oh no. Pick once again, please. Yeah, no, you're not gonna throw that. That's another thing. When you see them, they're about to throw a grenade, just shoot at them. Now, why do you have to be like this, game? Giving us the tankiest enemy in the entire game. I mean, not the entire game, but the tankiest enemy we could get out of this control point. Now, this guy is wasting my time here. Okay. Coming from the upper side. Boom. Is that guy really just gonna chill back there? I guess so. Okay. Spawn up again? Oh, I hate this control point when they run up there. It still remains one of the most enjoyable builds to play with, at least for me. That feeling of just like killing everything in 2 and 3 bullets is unmatched. Are we gonna die here? Okay. But yeah, that's the build, guys. Nothing brand new, nothing extremely crazy, but this still remains like one of the strongest builds in the entire game. Yes, the survivability is extremely low and literally non-existent, and it doesn't fit the current meta where you can run with 5 blue cores essentially and still destroy everything in your path because enemies cannot kill you and you just outlive them in a way. Super fun to play with. So much damage output. And if you play a little bit carefully, take your time with a cover, know when to push, know when to chill, and just wait for the enemies to come towards you, you will have one of the easiest times and most chilling builds, you know, because you just chill behind cover, pick out, take 3 shots and the enemy's dead, right? Maybe even less than that, as you already saw. It's super chill to play with, super easy. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Bye bye. Something I forgot to mention is that obviously, please don't join Legendary Mission and run this build. Don't join a heroic group and run this build. Maybe on a heroic group you can pull it off, but you know, just to avoid having people comment to me, oh, that's why people on my Legendary group die. I mean, they're still gonna comment this, probably, under this video, but you know, it's not a build for everything. It's a build for when you play solo and you're doing just open world activities. Obviously, you cannot do title basing on Legendary with this build for a bunch of reasons that I think most of you can figure out and already know. As I said, have a wonderful day, everybody. Bye bye.